Within the next couple of minutes, I will give you basic information on the soft and gentle massage ball that we use in Soma System Deep Tissue Cell Body Work. First of all, what is the difference between this tool and the 5 balls in this set? So this ball is inflatable, meaning that you can inflate it and it will become fairly hard, and you can deflate it and it will acquire much more give. These balls are much harder, so this is pretty soft but still much substantially harder than the inflatable one, and the 4 other balls are much harder. They're more like a lacrosse type of ball. So the difference, as you can see, as we go up, they become softer and bigger. Now this ball has very high specificity and is excellent to work on trigger points. This ball is not. So this has fairly relatively low specificity compared to your thumb and compared to this small ball. However, it's very gentle and it's very pleasant for many areas. Some of the massage therapies that work with our tools, they actually like to grab onto it to save their fingers, and when they work on a client, it has a good traction, so you can actually connect to the skin and then manipulate the skin. You can also do it on yourself as well as on the partner. Now, in terms of the body weight exercises, first let's explore a couple of exercises you can do when you are lying down. The first one that is really good is to work on your gluteal muscles. So I'm placing the ball right under this big muscle that you can feel, that try to tense up the muscle. It's your left butt cheek. So what I would do, I would rest my right butt cheek on the ground, and then I would come in onto the left side, bringing more pressure. And this way I can do a little bit of pumping. I can also bring more weight onto the left side and very slowly explore the area with my eyes closed. I'm just slowly moving and observing sensations, bodily sensations and experiences that this movement produces. Okay? And you can do this for a while, oftentimes for 5-10 minutes, even before you go to bed. That's very relaxing and conducive to better sleep. Okay, so you can do the same thing in the lower back. Just make sure that you're not applying any pressure on your floating ribs. And that's one of the reasons why you really need to start learning your own anatomy. And this is something that we'll be teaching in the subsequent videos that we will be sending you soon. So roll on top of the ball and off of it, or bring all the weight, making sure that you're not applying any pressure on the floating ribs or on the spinal column. And you can just stay here and breathe as long as you feel comfortable and relaxed. Now, similarly, you can work on your upper back. So I would do the same thing. I would roll on top of the ball and then off the ball. On top of the ball and then onto the ball, and then I can bring all of my body weight and just stay here. Okay? And the same applies to rotators. So here I would use a foam roller or a pillow to support my head to maintain good alignment. Place the ball and rock back and forth. Now notice that if your rotators are very tight, then this exercise might still be very intense and purely painful with this ball. If you're using these kind of balls, then the experience is not going to be nearly as painful, and you should always seek to make sure that your experience is pleasant. Now, moving higher up, you can do a lot of good work on your upper trap. Also, it's will be a work of less specificity than using the smaller balls, but it's more gentle and more overall work that you can do. You can lift your hips. That would increase the pressure. If you want to stay here, I would recommend to place the foam roller under your hips to maintain that pressure, and then close your eyes and again relax and just breathe, observing the bodily sensations and experiences. Finally, you can do a lot of good work on your neck. So place the ball, making sure that you're not applying any pressure on the spinal column, and just stay here, hanging out, and breathe, and very soon you may feel how muscles let go and release. You can add a little bit of active movement, so work on the left side, then work on the right side. And of course I'm showing each of these exercises very quickly because I'm simply trying to demonstrate what kind of things you could do with this tool, but when you do it, please take much more time to work. And finally, you can work on your chest. I mean, literally with all of our tools you can work on every part of the body. With this one, it's very good to work on your chest. Again, place it here, roll on top of it, put more body weight, release it, or just stay and breathe. You can add active movement. So this is more like pin and stretch. You can hang out at one spot and just breathe. And that's really good for exploring and releasing the chest muscles. Okay, now the same concepts apply when you're sitting, right? So when you work behind a computer, you can work on your foot. This is going to be much more gentle than working with one of those guys. Then you can work on your hamstrings. And then you can also work on the sit bone. So the sit bone is the bone that you would usually feel if you sit for a long time on a hard surface. And now I am moving my sit bone around the ball, and as a result, I am massaging my pelvic floor as well. And finally, you can always work on your back. And if the chair is higher, you can even work on your upper back or neck. Now, moving on, working against the wall, I can place the ball and work on my upper back. I can work on my shoulders, right? So if I move my hips further away, I would apply more pressure onto the ball. I can do a little bit of active movement and see how that feels. Rotators on the side. So here I have usually much better control of how much pressure I'm applying versus when I'm lying down, when I work with the rotators. However, when you're lying down, people tend to be much more relaxed. Okay, and finally the neck, right? So the same kind of stuff that we have done with the neck lying down, you can do. Again, don't roll that much, just explore a little bit and then stay in one spot and breathe. So this is about it. This is an introductory video for the Big Orange, and we'll be hopefully very soon sending you more videos that will help you to learn your own anatomy and as a result apply Soma system techniques in much more effective way. Now just a brief overview of other tools. So this is a set of 5 Soma system balls. They are of different sizes, and as you can see, this is just like even sometimes smaller than a massage therapist's thumb. And you can use it in also while lying down, while sitting. It's excellent for trigger point work. That's what it was created for. Or against the wall. And this is our newest addition. These are rollers. So as you can see, these are adjustable. You can move the rollers, bring them closer together, further apart. These are really great for working on your neck. Or you can work on your back. So these are much smaller than the foam rollers. And their surface has much higher specificity, meaning that it has a much greater capacity to isolate old spots of achiness in your body and release them. This is a focus roller. This is a tool It has 3 active surfaces, so this guy is very pinpointed work. This is more for manual therapy, for trigger point type of work. These are the rollers, so you can work on yourself. And you can also take all this rubber and you will have a very nice and spiky stimulation in this way. And finally, once you put them on, you can use this surface more like a gua sha type of tool. So this is layperson gua sha. You're basically doing skin and underlying deeper tissues dragging with this tool, and it's very comfortable. It's our main massage therapists love this tool because it saves their fingers. We use foam roller in a very different way than in other modalities, so you can make self body work very comfortable. The traditional way to use the foam roller is something of this sort, but as you can see, you're not very comfortable here. You have to support your head. So what we can do instead, we put the foam roller to support your hips, and then you can do mini rolls, and this is much more comfortable. Alternatively, when people work with the foam roller on the lower body, this is a very traditional way to work on the hamstrings. Anatomically, it doesn't actually make much sense for 2 reasons, because you're straining your shoulder and the hamstrings are actually lengthened when you're working on them, so a much better way to do that is actually on the chair. You will shorten the hamstrings and soften them, and that would allow you to get in a little bit deeper and do more effective work. Similarly, instead of doing this type of foam rolling, which has the same problem, you can do this on the chair when your body is completely relaxed, and you can actually work out your calf muscles. And finally, there is a series of tools, spiky tools, which is basically non-invasive acupuncture, we use it to warm up the tissue, but it's a great tool to relieve stress and improve sleep. So if you use it for 10-15 minutes before going to bed, it really warms you up, makes you comfortable, improves blood flow, and soothes you to sleep. Within the next couple of minutes, I'll try to give you the basics of using the roller squat. This is probably the easiest Soma System tool. As you can see, there are other tools which are primarily body weight tools, meaning that you use your own body to provide deep tissue cell body work. The roller squat can be used in 2 primary ways. So when you use it as a hand tool, meaning that you can put it on your hand, you can use it on yourself. So for example, massaging your quads or chest, or of course you can always use it on your partner, remembering if you're not a licensed massage therapist, then you should not be doing massage therapy, but otherwise you can bring a lot of joy to your friends massaging them. In terms of using the roller squat using your body weight, and by that I mean that you are not using the hand to apply pressure of the roller squat on top of your soft tissues, but you are actually using your body weight. So the easiest example would be putting the roller squat on the floor and working on your feet. And this is something that is very pleasant, and you don't necessarily have to roll all the time. You can just rest your feet on the roller squat or use 2 roller squats, and you can do that while you're working behind a computer. Similarly, you can use the roller squat to work out the tightness in your hamstrings, or you can place the roller squat, lie down next to it, and then roll on top of it, just making sure that the roller squat is not providing any pressure on the spinal column itself. And so that would be, for example, that would be an example of applying static pressure. Now, if you're breathing and lifting your hips, and then letting them go back to the floor, then essentially you are using one of the manual therapy techniques called pumping. So you're literally pumping the blood in and out of the place, and that really helps to release the tissues and nourish them with blood. You can also gently move, so you can see I'm not trolling, I'm just moving my upper body over the roller squat, maybe 1-2 millimeters from side to side, and this is more similar to cross fiber, and you can do a lot of good work, again remembering that roller squat should not be applying any pressure on your spinal